The death of a soldier is a grim reality of war, but too many of our soldiers are dying far away from the battlefield. More than 2,000 soldiers attempted suicide in 2007. About 120 of them took their own lives. This is the story of one of those soldiers and the loving family he leaves behind. This is the place where Lance Waldorf finally found peace. It's a quiet place, a place that holds so many secrets that will never be shared. The 40-year-old Army Reserve Major was good at keeping secrets. When he did talk about his time serving in Afghanistan, he talked about the hospitals and roads and schools he helped build. He talked about the aid he brought to an orphanage, the children he met, and the difference he was making in the lives of the people there. But there were things he wouldn't talk about, like the violence and the horrors of war, the IED that exploded near his vehicle, the death that surrounded him, and the deep pain he was suffering. Those were the dark secrets he never shared with his wife, Lana.
I did notice a change in him after the second deployment, and I noticed that he was quite withdrawn, wasn't communicating a lot, had some anger issues, and it seemed at times it was difficult to reason with him.
Then one day, Lana found some documents on the computer printer that Lance was taking to his appointment at the VA hospital. They described his depression, a symptom of his post-traumatic stress disorder.
And I will always remember taking that paper off of the printer and looking at it and reading it and sitting there almost numb, thinking, I had no idea.
Over the next 4 months, Lance still wouldn't talk about his problems. Lana says he was trying to tough it out, like many soldiers do. He was having nightmares and trouble sleeping, but Lana believed he was taking steps to get help. Then on June 2nd, the day after his stepson Alex graduated from high school, Lance left a message for Lana on her computer screen.
It started out with, I never stopped loving you. And by the time I got to the end of the letter, I said, oh dear Lord, I think this is a suicide note.
By then it was too late. A caretaker at the Great Lakes National Cemetery in Holly Township discovered Lance's body in full military fatigues. A handgun was on the ground next to him. Lance had shot himself in the head.
He just, for whatever reason, could not see his way out of the pain that he was in.
Military officials say the 121 Army soldiers who committed suicide last year make up the highest rate ever, and the toll is climbing even higher this year. One reason is the long, multiple deployments. Lance Waldorf had just found out he was about to be deployed for a third time.
He took it like a soldier. He just said, there's nothing I can do about it.
Those multiple deployments are leaving many of our troops at the breaking point. They're not getting the rest and recovery they need. Their relationships suffer, and they're coming back with emotional wounds, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Lana believes that returning soldiers should be getting mandatory evaluation and assistance.
They need mandatory follow-up visits with the military or with the VA to have conversations about what they've experienced, because they just don't share that with their families.
The military has spent hundreds of millions of dollars to improve its mental health care, but soldiers continue to fall through the cracks. Lana is determined to see that changes are made and that all veterans get the help they need. She's making this her mission.
What Lance could not accomplish in his lifetime will be accomplished in his death.
If you or someone you know needs help, call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK and then press 1 for the Veterans Hotline. We'll have more numbers and places to find help on our website, myfoxdetroit.com.